Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be taking a first look at this Sunday, Week 6 of the NFL season here on Draftkings. I can't wait to get into this one with you. I have a really good feeling about Week 6. I hope most of y'all were here with us at DFS Squid to play Week 5. Even if you weren't and you watched my last few videos, the Sunday Night Football video, for example, I talked about Marlon Mack, my favorite play on the slate. He was the second best play on the slate behind Byron Pringle, who got that usage with Sammy Watkins out. If you watched that video, you should have made money on Sunday night. And then 2 days ago for the Monday Night Football video, George Kittle, my favorite captain, loved Matt Breida in the flex. If you watched that video, you should have crushed it. It's been and it's really just insane Week 5. I had a lineup that did put up like 271, which was like 50 points shy of the best lineup. I think that won the Millie Maker, but it was just a really, really great week. We're going to keep the fire rolling into Thursday night, and then straight from Thursday night back into Week 6 on Sunday. So this video, we are going to be taking kind of a first look. I have a few plays that I'm already in love with. They're just in really, really great spots, and a few of them I expect to see in my final lineup on Sunday. So we're going to jump right into this one. If you have not already, please leave a like on this video. The support, I say it almost every video now, I feel like, but it just keeps getting better. The support's been unreal lately. I can't thank you guys enough just for taking the time out of your day to watch these videos. It means the world to me. As always, if you have any questions for me, season-long, DraftKings, FanDuel, any sort of DFS, doesn't matter what site, let me know in the comment section below. I'm happy to give y'all any advice that I can. But let's jump right into the QB section. I'm going to give y'all my favorite play and my favorite value play here in the QB section. Kirk Cousins, I think, is a very safe cash play or maybe even tournament play at 5,200. We don't have ownership projections, so it's hard to call somebody a cash or tournament play yet. But at 5,200, Kirk Cousins is way too cheap going against one of the best rush defenses and worst pass defenses in the league. The squeaky wheel narrative paid off. I mentioned Adam Thielen and Kirk Cousins in my video of GPP plays for Sunday. It paid off big time. Thielen had a monster game, so I hope y'all saw that. But going against, again, one of the best run Ds and worst pass defenses, the Eagles' secondary is just atrocious. So I think Kirk Cousins is actually a really safe play at 5,200. Great value there. My favorite play here at QB is actually going to be Matt Ryan, though. Just too consistent, throwing for over 300 yards in every game this season, and he only had 2 games out of the 5 where he did not throw for 3 touchdowns, one of which he threw for 2. So he's just an absolute monster so far this year. 11 touchdowns through 5 games, averaging, I don't know what that is, like 2.2, I think, touchdowns a game or something along those lines. But Matt Ryan absolutely beasting in a huge pace-up spot, and I'm glad this game's on the road. I think a lot of people might get a little scared off Matt Ryan because it's on a road. Everybody prefers to have Matt Ryan in the Dome. Obviously, last week was a little different because the total score was like 85 points against Houston. That's why he had that monster game. But when he's on the road this season, he's been playing very well. My thing with Matt Ryan on the road this week, though, is against Arizona, who's not playing that well. I think the game has a better chance to stay competitive, which is good. Because if it was at home, I think Atlanta would just be a little bit too good. I think that they would probably end up just ground and pounding with like Devonta Freeman or something like that, Ito Smith. But because it's on the road, I do like Matt Ryan a little bit more than I would if it was at home in Atlanta. So I'm going to lock him in, just make a little dummy lineup in the first look. You all know I like to give you a little bit of an example of where I'm at, where my head's at. Coming over here to running back, though, there are 3 guys I want to talk about, pretty much all in the same range. Lock. Instant lock. Le'Veon Bell. We all saw what Aaron Jones did to Dallas. Don't even care. That's irrelevant. I don't need to see Aaron Jones get 4 touchdowns last week for me to want to play Le'Veon Bell. The usage is insane. We all know that. The only week that he played with Sam Darnold, he ran the ball 17 times and had 9 targets. That means he had, he had 6 catches. I mean, 23, I guess, but I was going to say 26 touches. 26 looks, 23 touches. But I like him so much better with Sam Darnold on the field. He's excited Sam Darnold's coming back. I don't even need to go super in-depth about this. Le'Veon Bell, for me, is the player of the week. That's why he is probably the thumbnail of this video. Le'Veon Bell is he's going to have a monster week. I can just tell you all that now. These next 2 guys I want to talk about back-to-back. Derrick Henry first. We saw Leonard Fournette get about 30 touches, I believe, against Denver and run for over 200 yards. I don't see Derrick Henry getting 30 touches. I see him getting maybe 20, and if he gets 20, I think he crushes his value at 6,100. That Denver front there without Bradley Chubb now, that actually makes a bigger difference than a lot of people think against the run game for them. So Derrick Henry, too big, too powerful on the road in Denver. I'm happy to take Derrick Henry this week. But for this video in this lineup, that I can't not plug in Chris Carson. After what we saw on Monday night, Cleveland just got absolutely torched by Matt Breida, who is not as good as Chris Carson. He might be a little bit faster if we all saw him burn him. I think it was like 23 miles an hour he was running or something. But Chris Carson, I don't care about a road dog in this situation. I don't even know if Seattle still is the underdog, but I think it opened like Cleveland -1.5, which was ridiculous. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Vegas knows better than me. Maybe Cleveland wins this game or something, but I will not be fading Chris Carson, I don't think. Just too good of a spot for him, and the usage is insane. So if we were to lock in Chris Carson and come on over here to wide receiver, because we have Matt Ryan in QB, I'm sure y'all saw this coming. This is Julio bounce back week. I thought it was last week. It's going to be this week in a huge pace-up spot against Arizona. He only had 7 looks the last 2 weeks, and look at his numbers. I think that they're going to have to get him more involved. 11, 10, and 9, and just the numbers are insane. So I'm hoping that they get him more involved. They really need to, because this Atlanta team does not have a good record. They're 1-4 to start the season. Pretty surprising, to be honest. So I'm hoping that he gets more involved. We're going to go ahead and plug in Julio Jones. I don't see him not getting more involved. I think the game stays competitive. Matt Ryan should have to air it out. It just makes sense. Another guy that's a pretty high-priced wide receiver that I don't think a lot of people are going to be on is Tyreek. If Tyreek Hill plays this game and he's not limited, I do want Tyreek Hill in pretty much most of my GPPs or tournament lineups. I don't know what the ownership's going to be. Again, it's hard to call somebody a cash or tournament play as of now. But this Houston team, they are a wide receiver 1 funnel, and that's why it was surprising that Julio didn't get the usage that we expected him to last week. But this is a really interesting spot for Tyreek Hill, though. He is not only a wide receiver 1 in that offense, but his quarterback is also a QB1 in any offense. He's obviously probably the best in the league right now. I don't think anybody disagrees with that, but it's just a really, really good spot for Tyreek Hill to come back in a game that will hopefully be pretty competitive and just have a monster slate-breaking game. So I really like Tyreek Hill a lot. If he's not limited, I want to be clear on that, because if he is, they might pull some Sammy Watkins stuff like they did on that Sunday Night Football game. So keep an eye on that. It's pretty early. Obviously, I'm recording this video on Wednesday. The next wide receiver I want to talk about, one's going to be in the flex, one's going to be down here. My favorite value play on the entire slate. And if you haven't noticed, we're not really going for a lot of value. There's not a lot of value that you need. A lot of these mid-price guys actually allow you to get up to a high-price guy this week, and I'll show you. But Jamison Crowder, in the only game he played with Sam Darnold, had 17 targets. If he gets 7 targets at 4,000, I am thrilled. I mean, that is insane usage for any 4,000 price wide receiver. I'm hoping he gets 7 targets. I mean, if he was to somehow pull like 10 plus, that's an insane game. I don't even care about the fantasy points at this point. I mean, the usage is just unreal for him when Sam Darnold's playing, it seems. So keep an eye on Sam Darnold. Obviously, it sounds like he's going to be playing. I can't wait for him to come back, but just keep an eye on. Make sure everybody on this Jets team is healthy going into this game. But as of now, it's definitely a Jamison Crowder sort of week. I'm okay with playing him and Le'Veon and not Sam Darnold. I don't think you have to play Darnold with these two, even though Le'Veon is a pass-catching back and Jamison Crowder is going to get a lot of usage. Does not mean Sam Darnold's going to have a big game. Crowder could go for over 100 receiving. Bell could go for over 100 receiving, and Sam Darnold could only have 230 yards. So it's something that I don't think you need Darnold to be in that QB spot. Coming to tight end, though, if you didn't see this coming, I think you need to get some glasses. You can borrow mine if you need them. But Austin Hooper, with the usage he's getting at only 5,000, is too cheap. With the usage he's getting playing the Cardinals is way too cheap. He should be 6,200, 6,300 this week against this Cardinals team. He's going absolutely nuts this year, it seems. I mean, 11, 9 targets in the last 2 games, 20 targets. That's 10 target average over the last 2 games, obviously. You can't not want to play Austin Hooper against this Cardinals team who forgets that tight ends are a position on the other team. Tyler Eifert was not my favorite play last week. I did not end up having him in most of my lineups. because he's a Bengal. You can't expect Andy Dalton and that Bengals O-line to really do what they need to do to get the ball to Eifert. So for that reason, I think that this is a still very, very empty Arizona defense against tight ends, and I'm locking in Austin Hooper. Let's skip to defense real quick. One thing I want to mention, the salary minimum price for a defense was $2,000, and they finally are dropping it right now to $1,500. That makes the Jets defense a lock for me. I'm okay with playing them. I think that even if they get you 5+ points, that's an insane. I mean, if you got 5 points from every $1,500 of your $50,000, I did the math. I think it's like 165 points or something like that, which is a pretty good lineup. In most weeks, obviously last week that's but I mean, 1,500. If they were to get you 5+ points, that's all you really need. And I think they do against this Dallas team at home. Sam Darnold's return. Le'Veon Bell going to get a lot of usage. I think that they're going to have a lot of possession time in this game. So for that reason, I think the Jets defense probably gets you more than 5, and I do like them, and I'm locking them in at 1,500. It's just too good of a value. That leaves us 5,800 for our flex, and then it's weird taking a defense and then a opposing player. It's not my favorite thing to do because every time your player scores, the defense loses points. I don't need a touchdown from Michael Gallup. With his usage, I just need him to go break 100 yards. And he had a touchdown last week, and obviously missed 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 he had this really good target. We're talking about 7 and 8 targets for him, by the way, as good at 5,600. Jamison Crowder, the only game he played with Darnold, had 17 targets, and he's 4,000. Do not miss out on Crowder this week. I just want to make that clear one last time. But at 5,600 for Michael Gallup, until I see his usage drop. And granted, I think this is kind of an outlier for him. I think that Michael Gallup is a very talented player, and I think that he's going to do very well this season. But 14 targets last week, I think mostly came because Jair Alexander was on Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper still had a really good game. But I don't expect Gallup to get 14 targets this week. I just want him to get 7 to 9 and hopefully break 100 yards, and that's more than what you need from him at 5,600. So I'm going to plug him in, and that's kind of my first look lineup here on the right. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you do, as always, have any questions, like I said, let me know in the comment section below. And if you have not already, at least go sign up, make a free account over here on DFS Squid. If you have any questions about memberships and things like that, let me know. I can't stress enough, Week 5 was pretty insane for us, and then we're going to keep the heat rolling into Thursday night and then straight into Sunday of Week 6. It's going to be another crazy week. Don't keep missing out. It's just not worth it. So let's go ahead and let's get into that Thursday Night Football Showdown video tomorrow morning, and good luck to everybody in that. And if you're playing any preseason NBA tonight, good luck to you. So I can't wait to get into tomorrow's video with y'all.